That's right. It is the morning show right here on Facebook Live, Periscope TV, YouTube Live, and of course, LinkedIn. Glad to have you with us. On today's show, we got lots to talk about, including a really good guest, which is going to be joining us just around the corner. Super excited about this. This will be happening in just a bit. We got Mr. Jesse Sanchez there. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
All right, so lots to talk about. And including this, the latest news stories, of course, President Trump in the news. Surprise, surprise. Had a very interesting conversation, evidently, yesterday, held by ABC, our good friends over there. And not sure if you caught it, not sure if you watched, not sure if you're wanting to watch. I know some people are very adamant about watching, and others are just like, you heard it once, you heard it all. And so either side of the fence that you are on, I can't completely blame you. I used to be on the other side of the fence of pretty much whatever. I mean, what's going to happen is what's going to happen. I don't know about you, Jesse. You ever have that feeling?
Yeah, I kind of had that feeling right now. Just taking things as it comes. I'd be
Yeah.
like, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, exactly. So, but here's what I know. Look, we've got a lot of stories coming up. Some good, some bad, and some downright great. Seriously, we got some good stuff. Speaking of which, we're going to be talking around the corner with our special guest, returning guest actually. She's going to be talking about quick and easy recipes for every meal of the day with quality organic products. Registered dietitian and Emmy-nominated television host Anessa Chumbley will be joining us around the corner and talking about some good stuff that we can definitely have, especially for the family right now. My goodness, Jesse, you know, there's so many people that, you know, are dependent upon certain people that can actually cook. I don't know. Can you cook really well, Jesse?
I can cook fairly well. I learned to, find whatever I can find in the kitchen and make whatever I can out of it.
Yeah, I get it. All right, we got to take a quick break. Let us know how we can help you as well. If you got questions, we may have answers. We should have an advice column. Do you think we would do well with like an advice column section of the show, Jesse?
I think we would do fairly well, different points of views.
We'd have to put disclaimers though. Don't trust me implicitly. My life has been like it went from here to here overnight. So, you know, there's that. Anyway, we'll be right back right after this with more right after these messages. Stay tuned. All right, those of you in social media, thank you very much for the hearts, the tweets, and even the stars. Hey, Jesse, we got a new feature on Facebook. It's stars, actually. I don't know if you know how those work. Do you?
No, I'm saying you're lying. I don't see any. Oh wait, never mind. I see stars right there. God,
Yeah, stars.
what is
Stars are
that?
our new thing on Facebook. It allows, if you have your own broadcast, it allows you to monetize your stream. Viewers can buy stars, send them to you while you're streaming. Fans can also send animated virtual gifts attached to different star amounts that will appear in your stream. For every star you receive, Jesse, let's put it this way. It's not like millions of dollars overnight, okay? It's a penny each. So you know what we need to do, Jesse? We need to invest in this show at least, let's see, get like 1 million plus people watching, giving one
Mm-hmm.
star each. How much would that be at a penny each? Does anybody do? Can you guys do the math? Just 1 penny each, like over 1 million people. Let me think. If everybody gives a penny or at least 1 star, well, I know if there was like $1, that would be like $1 million, right? Isn't that weird how financials work? If you have 1 million people and you sell them a paperclip at $1 each, you have $1 markup. you instantly have $1 million.
Yep.
Hopefully it just doesn't cost that much to actually do it, right? But back
20
to reality.
seconds.
Huh?
20 seconds.
Okay. I'm still trying to do the math there. So if that's $1 million, what is that? Never mind. It'll never happen.
He will shave his head, people. 2 seconds.
Ha! Don't say that. $1 million stars, yeah. That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. Joining our live streaming video audience over there on Facebook Live, Periscope TV, YouTube Live, and of course LinkedIn, also Instagram Live. Don't forget to find us. Aaron M. Sanchez is the main handle. If you want to download our app and take us with you, you can do so. We have a lot of great programming all throughout the day. And of course, top of the news, hourly news. Right here, ABC News Radio is where it's at. Which, by the way, for the majority of you out there who always go, you know, oh, you guys are all slanted. I don't know about the slanted because, you know, just out of curiosity, I'm not sure if you guys saw yesterday's broadcast, but technically, Trump was on ABC talking, you know, about a lot of stuff, which always begs the question to me: if he says it's always fake news, how come he always wants to be on the news that he always says is fake news? Isn't that odd? Anyway, but you know, it's called a campaign. Try to get the voters out. I get it. Lots of people tuning in as well. Thank you on Periscope. Let's see. We've got I Miss Teen Wolf, too, tuning in. Says, good morning. Be safe. Thank you. Good morning. Be safe to you as well. Mike Pasqua, thank you for tuning in and retweeting on Twitter. Rushane tuning in. Isaiah tuning in. Filthy Creatures tuning in. You know what? No judgment there. Let's see. We got Mr. Jesse Sanchez over there in the booth getting ready for our big show today. Really big show. Jesse, how you doing today?
Good morning. I'm actually doing pretty good. Doing
Good.
real good.
Glad to hear. You know, there's a lot of news going on, and so my question to you is this: any good news over there?
On the top of my list, I don't know. All I see is things on fire and Trump.
Yeah, and coronavirus. Don't forget that one.
Oh, you can forget about that.
Yeah, and don't forget about India and China. Although you will not see it in the headlines, when you do the research, you'll find there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. So, look, as of late, they said over the weekend they were willing to like kind of double down on wanting to like push back one another. And I thought, well, that's pretty good. They're like wanting to talk about peace. I get that. I understand that. And in the separate vein, you've got, you know, Trump talking peace with Israel and 2 other nations as well. So you're like, okay, maybe we've turned the tide. You know what? I'm all for that. I said it before. I said, hey, if you guys can like push back on the rhetoric and, you know, just make and do the right thing, I'm all for that. You know, I'd rather be wrong than right. And I'd be, you know, I mean, granted, I don't know how many different times in history you've ever seen 2 countries go at it and then they say they're going to back off and then one doesn't back off. In fact, they send more troops, they send more military action, they make deals behind the deal. I just saw India, I guess, borrowed a lot of money so that they could invest, I guess, in armament of some sort to, you know, get ready to go to war. But you know what? There's a lot of news, and whether you believe it or not, it's, you know what I appreciate? I appreciate the journalists out there that put themselves in harm's way, oftentimes just to spread information that may not even benefit them themselves, but they get, you know, information out to the public for a reason, to make sure we're all aware. I don't know about you, Jesse, but you know, in Germany, there were a lot of journalists that actually, some did not come out winning, if you know what I mean.
Ooh, that does not sound good.
Yeah, well, and that happens in a lot of these countries, right? There was a warning that I saw yesterday, which actually a lot of people are unaware of, but the U.S. is kind of saying no travel to China right now. For another reason. It makes you wonder, right? Because whenever you start seeing those type of headlines, you go, wait, is that because of coronavirus, or is that because of the political scene and or the possibility of war against China? Which, again, for those that don't know, I had this conversation late last week by a couple people here that were listening, actually, in person, and I didn't know they were listening. They were listening on the other side of the wall, and they looked at each other, evidently, and said, What's going on with China, India? I don't know anything about that. So they did the research, as I constantly say, do the research, do check it out. And then you'll see the headlines, World War III, China, India. But now everybody's hoping, including the people there living in these countries, that they don't go to war. The majority. Sometimes there's some rhetoric from people that are just people that like, let's take them out, right? And I say, I don't think you thought about the repercussions down the line of that type of interaction. Back to nuclear war, you've got two countries that have nuclear armaments that are pretty close to one another. And you definitely just don't want that type of situation ever to take place. You want peace, you want at least negotiations, right? I get it, one territory wants the other person's territory a little bit more than most. I wonder why. I'm like, build a wall. That's what, Trump did here, right? Is he done with that wall yet? No? Okay. Build a wall if it's that bad, right? Just build the wall. China has the biggest wall, I think, in history. So they know how to build walls. In fact, we should probably bring China to the wall here, and they probably would have done a better job than, because I think our wall's kind of collapsed, hasn't it? A couple times. So
yes, it has.
yeah, and I don't know how much money he put into that. I mean, I think if he would have reattributed that money, I don't know if attribute is the correct word, reassign that money to the pandemic, we probably would be ahead of the schedule than behind. Speaking of China, by the way, China actually did say something which I thought was interesting. They said when the vaccine comes out, they don't feel everybody should be treated with the vaccine. They said only the frontline workers, which kind of goes to something I said about a week ago, right, Jesse? Maybe more. It was they're not going to have enough for everybody. So they have to assign it to those either, well, I said are very at high risk, right? Kind of like the flu shot, right? Like, for example, my mom this year, we talked about this yesterday, she's going to do the flu shot, right? And I'll be honest, I never do the flu shot because I may get sick, but I'm like, I will weather it. But I don't want to compromise my mother. And I certainly want to differentiate if it's the flu. I mean, some people still get the flu shot and still get sick. Sometimes not as badly as others, but it's different every certain person, right? I've always been against the flu shot just for my own personal reasons, but I've always said, Mom, you need it because, she's got diabetes, right? Who knows what else is going on in her body, right? She's, I don't want to tell her age out loud because I say, stay young. Because sometimes in our minds we're younger than we are, right, age-wise. So I'm going to put her at a 35 age, like that she wants to be, and she often exudes that type of vibrance every now and then. Sometimes I have to remind her. She used to be like, yeah, she always went like a decade older than she was. I'm like, Mom, you're not there yet. Now she's there. She's like, I'm not there. I'm like, okay, you see what I'm saying? So it is about mindset. But the body, the physical body, tends to tear down itself. Again, back to health, back to wellness. Speaking of health and wellness, we're going to be talking to a dietitian a little bit later around the corner on going to someplace that I actually highly recommend, Albertsons. You ever been to Albertsons as of late, Jesse?
Not recently because there are no Albertsons within our city.
Well, that's terrible. I love Albertsons, by the way. But Albertsons, we're going to be talking about some organic products you can check out with special guest, registered dietitian, and Emmy-nominated television host Anessa Chumbley will be joining us just around the corner, talking about some really good things that you can make, especially for the young ones, right? Sometimes the young ones, the whole back-to-school season, I mean, it's weird as it is because you can't send them off and then they get a meal at school. Now they're eating all and more food probably in your house, so now you're spending more money in the house, especially a public school system, right? I'm not talking about the private school system, but back to that. I mean, private's now public in your house. So, there's a lot of questions we have, so I've got questions for her. She's a mother. She understands what it's like to have, I don't know if she has picky kids, but I know picky kids that are out there that will not eat anything other than chicken nuggets, pizza, or French fries. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say mac and cheese, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Some kids don't even like mac and cheese anymore. They changed the recipe, I think, over the years. But so there you go. Let's go to some news you can use. How about that? Jesse, I realize, and look, a lot of people are talking about the Chris Evans debacle. I heard it on another news media channel. Do you have any recent news on that, Jesse?
Yeah, I started laughing when I heard about it. Apparently, Chris Evans accidentally posted a nude picture of himself. And
Well, hold on. Nude picture doesn't really describe. I mean, nude could be like with his shirt off, could be with like his sandals off. It could be just, kind of like nude-ish in the nude. It could be a backside picture because he was like skinny dipping in the ocean. Can you be a little bit more specific but less rated R?
let's just say he's in front of the mirror taking a selfie of himself with no clothes on.
Again, that's just not as descriptive enough, Jesse. You really gotta take it to the next level. But you gotta do so without getting X-rated.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to say that. Let's see. He's holding his hammer in the picture.
I heard they called it the Thor hammer. I'm like, that's the other guy. That's not a Captain America. I think a lot of people don't understand what the hammer is. But okay, you know what? Look, you know what? That guy's got game. That's all I got to say. He actually said, and I kid you not, I guess he kind of like lowered his head and probably did a face palm really quick because then everybody's now seeing his junk in the where, and so. Now he's been exposed pretty much forever. Trust me, there are ladies probably out there going, "Oh, that's not so bad." And then but anyway, long story short, he made a joke out of it. He says, "Well, now that I got your attention, go vote." You know what? I can't blame the guy. You know what? Look, he probably took a little too many drinks. There's probably some girl out there that he was trying to impress. And he thought he was going to send it to her, right? Whoa, yeah, whoa, this is my fingers, my hand. Instagram, what? I think it went to Instagram, didn't it? Or was it Twitter? I hope they didn't ban him.
I think it went to Instagram. I don't know. I didn't really look at it. I saw like a blurry picture that was posted in a news article. So yeah.
You got to appreciate the fans because I understand fans have like tried to inundate with other pictures and other photos, so people have a hard time finding but it's the internet, so somebody's got already copies of it, right? So.
Oh.
You know what? But that kind of takes me to the generation of today and tomorrow and forever, right? When you have social media, don't get on it if you had too much to drink, which is obvious, right? But it's never obvious. I mean, when people are drunk, who do they usually call, Jesse?
I'm assuming their significant other.
Or the one that they lost, right? They're like, "Oh, man, I'm feeling so emotional right now. I just want to tell you I love you." And I'm always like, don't drink. And like, if you're going to go drinking with a trusted advisor that will say, stay away from that. You're going to regret it in the morning. So there you go. Don't do drunk texting. Don't do drunk Chris Evans. Chris is never going to live that one down. But there you go. So I don't know how I would feel with my like junk out there. But there you go. Just, and ladies, you too, by the way, especially the youth of today, stop sending your pictures nude with at least your face, okay? Just like, I would just like keep the face out, and then like that way you could be like, that's not me, right? Even if it came from your own message, you're like, that's somebody else with the same body type or tattoo that you all know. Anyway, my point is this. Just be careful out there, okay, people? Seriously, we got coronavirus, we got Trump, we got a lot of stuff we got to be more concerned about. Let's not worry about the pictures, okay? But I think it was kind of, you know what? I admire Chris for doing what he only could do, which is like, let's focus on something more important. You know what? Good job, Chris. And you know what? The ladies are probably like, all right, So, hey, if he's single to ready to mingle, I don't judge. All right, people, we'll be back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned. Okay. All right, so I'm here with Jesse Sanchez over there, and Jesse's really trying to figure out, maybe you guys can help him the next time he tries to describe a man's junk, right, or the jewels Bejeweled, don't be jeweled with Chris Evans. Jesse, what do you need help? Maybe we should have social media help you out.
I think I was trying to make like some type of Captain America reference, but the only thing I could think of was Thor, which was I don't know.
Well, it's funny because they actually hold on. I'm going to bring up the social media chat. Let's do some chat rooms chat. Like I mean, how do you do it so that the kids in the room don't know, right? Although you might be like, don't do a Captain America, right? Captain America. Okay, fine. Do a Captain America. Don't do a Chris Evans, right? So there you go. Which is kind of odd, right? Let's see. Couldn't play video. What? What do you mean? Is my Facebook messing up? Oh, my Facebook's messing up.
Uh-oh.
I may not be able to bring you guys up, by the way. Yeah, it's not letting me. Couldn't play video. Something went wrong. You can exit the video or try again. For some reason, Facebook's, I noticed this as of yesterday, Facebook's been a little off lately. That usually means there's an update coming or there's something going on behind the scenes, obviously. So if you guys are having issues trying to connect with us, too bad, because that was a funny segment. Well, that makes sense. We only have a few viewers. It's having issues.
Facebook?
Yeah, it's not us, because Twitter is up alive and well, by the way. If you guys can get us, you know what, maybe it's not streaming. Let's see if I got to go back live. No, it's streaming. I think it's Facebook. Facebook's been wacky as of late last night. Well, that's when I noticed it went wacky. But we're still streaming on YouTube. We're still streaming on LinkedIn, I believe. Hold on, let me bring that up as well. Actually, I don't know the password there. Never mind.
We have 20 seconds.
Got to remember all my passwords. How many passwords do you have, Jesse?
I have a set number of words and a certain number of sequences I use.
Got it.
So, yeah, I'm trying not to tell. 2 seconds.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMT 1490 AM. Joining our live audience there at social media, chat room, Facebook Live, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, and of course Instagram. Don't forget to check us out. Aaron M. Sanchez is where it's at. We appreciate you for tuning in and spending your morning with us. So look, I have to talk about it because it's a thing, evidently. President Trump claimed yesterday, during a televised town hall that herd mentality, he called it that because I think he forgot what it was called. Herd, he's like, herd, what is that? That's a herd something, right? There's a herd ship, herd thing. He probably was doing that in his head, like, what's it called? The herd mentality. Yeah, we like that herd mentality. Could make the coronavirus disappear with or without a vaccine. I can't make this stuff up, by the way. You can replay the video. And I get it. Sometimes he forgets. He's got a lot of stuff in his head. He's trying to, create a lot of change in the world, and I can't blame him. I'm pretty sure if the roles were reversed, I'd misspeak a lot. I say, sorry, I didn't mean that. But here's what happened during the 90-minute town hall hosted by ABC News, which, by the way, often it's been called fake news, even by his people that really love the guy, which I know are going to vote for him. I can pick him out in the lineup, really. But there you go. So it's the must-win battleground of Pennsylvania. Trump defended his repeated assertion that the virus will eventually disappear, even without a vaccine. It's like, is this guy a miracle worker? Is he a faith healer? Or what's going on here? Citing what he called, and hold on. I saw the news, and this article's a little slanted, I will say. Because at first he called it like herd immunity, right? He said that first. And then he's kind of corrected himself, said herd mentality, right? Which you got to be careful with that type of mentality, because that's like, let's all herd together, right? People don't understand herd immunity. Do you understand that fully, Jesse? Because it's been touted quite a lot. And like, I remember a Trumpinite person who follows Trump, obviously, so he has Trumpinitis, actually said to me, we just need the herd thing to happen. I'm like, do you understand what the herd thing is? I didn't ask that, but I should have. So do you understand what the herd mentality or herd immunity is, Jesse?
I kind of understand the concept of it, but I can't fully explain it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go on with this article, and then we'll dissect it in just a bit. We don't want to miss our next guest. But ABC News chief anchor George Stephanopoulos. I like that guy, man. He just tries to call him out every single time. He's not afraid of Trump. He'll just call him out right there. But then Trump's way of dealing with him is so odd, and people go, yeah, what he said. I don't know what he just said, but yeah, that. Like if you say it's black and he says there's shades of white in it, somehow you'll be like, I think I see a shade of white in it. That's the way these conversations go, back and forth. But Trump responded to this when asked whether the coronavirus would go away without the vaccine. He says, sure, over a period of time, sure. With time, it goes away. Stephanopoulos interjected, and many deaths, which technically is also very true. And then, of course, Trump, I'm quoting Trump here, I can't make this stuff up. You'll develop a herd mentality. It's going to be herd developed, and that's going to happen. That will all happen. I think when he says fake news, just don't print every single word when I say it, right? Herd immunity is the theory, here it is, that the virus is eradicated only after a high percentage of the population is infected, limiting its ability to spread. Herd mentality, also known as mob mentality, rather means people can be influenced by the herd to act in ways that are emotional rather than rational. Do you see the difference on why words are so important, Jesse?
Yes, very much.
Yeah, so I'm just going to stop there, okay, people, because which is odd that he put the two together in his own head, right? Because what have we been seeing as of late? We've been seeing the emotional response of what's kind of referred to as a herd or mob mentality, which I've said, this happens time and again. You may have really good people wanting to do good, but the moment you have 5 different people all of a sudden doing bad, you see the other ones which would have never done bad in a circumstance, all of a sudden say, well, if they're getting away with looting that place, I kind of need something too, right? And that's mob mentality. Or violence all of a sudden happens. It doesn't take the whole amount, but all of a sudden there's this crazy thing that happens in the mob mind, which is all of a sudden, yeah, let's go do that, right? So you see burning of flags, burning of buildings, causing harm. If one person starts fighting another, all of a sudden the other one's like, yeah, I want to go jump in on that. That's mob mentality. We do not want herd mentality. We do kind of want the immunity, but not at the sake of causing a lot of deaths, if it can be prevented, which is what we're kind of basing everything on. Correct me if I'm wrong. Those you love, those that don't have to get this, if they don't have to, wouldn't you rather that than have to have them basically die because of your own mistake? President Trump, I'm going to call it out. I know I'm in a place where I'm not supposed to, but come on. Seriously. It's almost like you want more people to get sick and want more people to die, and then eventually, guess what? Well, we got rid of the others. Let's go move forward. You know when I think one day coronavirus is going to hit President Trump? Finally. Sorry, did I say that out loud? I hope he gets well from it, but finally he'll understand it's no fun. Talk to other Prime Minister of England and he'll tell you. Seriously, that was the guy that also said, it's a hoax. And then he came out going, frontline workers, I love you, whatever you need, boom, you got it, okay? So that's just, you get what I'm saying? I'm just saying, maybe when President Trump gets it, all of a sudden we'll have herd immunity, okay? Not herd mentality. Okay, we'll be back right after these messages. Stay more. We'll say more after the messages. All right, people, we appreciate you. I see you now in social media. Let's, maybe that's what it was. Maybe the stars was preventing it from, thank you for the likes, by the way. We've been picking up on likes, and if you guys share us and spread the word, we really appreciate you. I'll I got to figure out what the prize is for that, but there you go. All right, so let's see here. We've got. By the way, if you guys don't send stars, that's okay. We don't need. We need your support. Share, and share alike. Okay, on Facebook. It's just a new feature we've been trying out because it came up on my timeline. You can create stars. And I'm like, well, you know what? I think Jesse's a pretty big star right now, so we need to send some stars to him, right, Jesse?
Right.
All right, let's see. All right, so let's see. We got Sandy tuning in. Thank you. We got Penelope tuning in. Thank you. We got Rosalie tuning in. Thank you. Good morning. Says, I'm super late. It's all right. You just missed the discussion on Chris Evans. That, she did it. Oh, yeah, never drunk text. Yeah, just don't. It's a bad thing. I think I only did it never, actually. Yeah, I never. No, wait. No, because I don't get drunk. I just don't. I didn't get drunk. I just got, you know what happens with me and tequila, Jesse? Oh, he's on the phone. Never mind. You know what happens with me and tequila? Me and tequila, all of a sudden, it takes one shot, and I'm all of a sudden the most less bashful person ever in the room. And let's just put it this way. I'm very assertive all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, one time I think I had 2 shots, and I was like, let's get this party started. Boom, boom, boom. Right? No, because those that know me in person know I'm kind of laid back. I'm kind of just like, not all the time, but I can't always be that person.
We got 20 seconds, and it's been a long time since I last drank.
Yeah. All right, our guest is ready to go. I assume that was her on the phone line?
Yes, that's her. She's all ready to go.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. Follow Jesse on social media. He has a Twitter account now. He needs more friends.
5 seconds. Twitter's interesting. 2 seconds.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Joining our live streaming audience over there, Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, Apple TV, YouTube Live, and of course LinkedIn. Great to have you with us. It's that time for our special guest host, Anessa Chumbley. Yes, Anessa is doing some great stuff over there, making sure that you and your family have the latest recipes at your disposal. Thanks to Albertsons. Again, we got with us Anessa. Good morning. Welcome to the show, Anessa.
Oh, my goodness. Good morning, Aaron. Thanks so much for having me on.
Oh, no, thank you. Look, there's a lot of families that are needing your help right now because let's face it, and I know you're a mother, so you understand the whole pandemic situation, and now families are having to figure out not just like the regular meals, but now lunches as well because those aren't provided for because they're not going to school.
That is the truth. It's crazy times, and I get it more than you know. I've got 4 kids and a 1-month-old baby, and so I'm going to give you the tips and strategies that really work, as well as my favorite brands that I use every day.
Hit me. Let's go. Let's start.
All right. So first, prep on a little bit in advance. Save so much time and headache later. Second, pick no-fuss recipes, and that's exactly what I love to make every day. Third, my favorite, start with quality ingredients. It's amazing what a difference this makes. So my 2 favorite brands that I'm excited to share with you, Aaron, O Organics. So I don't know if you've ever tried O Organics, but you're going to find that exclusively in your neighborhood at your local Albertsons, Bonds, or Pavilions. So people can pick them up at any one of those. But O Organics, all of their products are USDA certified. They're always non-GMO, and they're affordable for all. So I absolutely love that brand. And then second is Open Nature. So Open Nature is a line of products you can have throughout your home. And I call Open Nature Freedom because all of their products are free from 110 additives like artificial flavors and preservatives. So it's a brand you can really trust. So this is what I like to make my delicious, easy, fun, and it's 2020. We're talking about comfort. So they got to be comforting recipes, and I've got those for you today.
Yeah, well, and look, there are some kids that will only eat 3 things, and almost every kid has this in common until you can break them of the cycle, like chicken nuggets, pizza, French fries. Do you understand what I mean?
Amen. I've got a picky eater, so I understand that. As a dietitian, I thought I wouldn't, but I want to give you a breakfast that I think those kids are going to love because this one knocked it out of the park with mine. And it's gluten-free cornbread breakfast sandwiches. And it starts with a box of Open Nature gluten-free cornbread mix. And then I look to find ways to boost the nutrition. So I use organic plain Greek yogurt or plain organic yogurt.
Okay.
And then I also use some butter and an egg, and you make those into muffins, and then you slice them in half horizontally. We're going to use them for sandwiches. On that, all kids love this, Open Nature honey ham, and then crispy applewood smoked bacon. My kids love both of those, and as a dietitian, though, I got to give you my point of view. I love that those are meat options raised with no antibiotics, and they're 100% vegetarian fed. So you can actually freeze those, Aaron, and then your kids could get that little breakfast out of the freezer themselves and microwave it and have something nutritious on their side every morning.
Thank you. You know what? Okay, so just so you know, okay, our microwave went out for like a good month and a half. I kid you not. I was like, what are we going to do? And supposedly Sears was going to fix it. They didn't. They never replaced it. The owner had a warranty. It never got done. I kid you not. I was like for a month and a half like, we have to use the oven? But it's because it's so simple and fast and quick. But sometimes, I'm not going to lie, as much as I would depend on the microwave, I started to realize cooking over the stove and reheating things was actually not a bad idea if done right.
You know what? That's exactly right. I'm sure you were like, what else can go wrong? So let me just give you a tip. Use the broiler in your oven because you can put these little sandwiches or the pizzas that I have for lunch. You can put those under the broiler and just cook them up in a jiffy, super fast.
Yeah, I recently tried that with some Chinese food because I'm telling you, you put that in the microwave and like I love Kung Pao chicken spaghetti from another place, which I probably should have mentioned. But my point is this. The peanuts just don't act the same. But now I put it in the little pot, put in some additional water, let it boil, and it was just like restaurant style.
Necessity is the mother of invention, right? Who knew? It could be so easy.
Now let's talk about, because you've got like healthy choices. Let's talk about the healthier choices versus the stuff that we all put into our bodies. And I think we hear it all the time. Why is it so important? And I know you're talking about gluten-free, easy chocolate, peanut butter, brownies, which sound delicious, but usually anything gluten-free doesn't always taste that great.
Yes. Well, let me just tell you, these brownies are so amazing, so they're good for our gluten-free friends, but for those that aren't gluten-free, they're not even going to taste the difference. I've served these to my whole family, and I think chocolate and peanut butter is the perfect marriage, so I start with Open Nature gluten-free brownie mix. So next time you're in Albertsons, Vons, or Pavilions, pick up some of this stuff. You're going to love it. And then I like to swirl organic peanut butter on top. And then I put some organic banana chips, too, just for a crunch. And then you have to do a drizzle of chocolate. And I use organic semi-sweet chocolate chips melted to do that. And what I love is when you go into those local stores, Albertsons, Vons, or Pavilions, you're going to find over 1,500 organic items all throughout the store. So they've done the guesswork for you, and they're also all at an affordable price point. So I call them my barrier breaker when it comes to eating more organic or clean ingredients. And just like you said, Aaron, the position that I like to think about is pure ingredients are better for your body. So a lot of the people feel different as they start to eat, whether it's clean or organic ingredients.
I will go out and say this. Whenever I have like bread that's regular bread versus gluten-free, my stomach swells up, and I'm like, oh man, it swelled up. But when I eat gluten-free, it doesn't swell up. And I'm just saying, I mean, if you don't want the swelling to occur, try gluten-free. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, everybody is so different. So I always tell people, you do you. So find out what's best for you. Stick with that. And I love, again, that with O Organics and Open Nature, you're going to be able to find ingredients and products that work for you. They have so many. The variety is so great. So I'm excited for you to get into the store and get some of those if you haven't yet.
I'm excited too. I love you guys. I love Vons. I love Albertsons, and Pavilions I really love. They treat you just so nice all the time. They all do, really do. Hey, thank you so very much. How do we find out more information in Nessa?
Yeah, sure. Don't forget, you can find organics and Open Nature products in store. and shop online for delivery or drive up and go. And then you can get more information at albertsons.com/organic.
All right. Thank you, Anessa, for spending time with us here on The Morning Show.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Thanks for having me on. You have a great day.
You too. All right. So there you go. Anessa Chumley. You can find her on social media, too. She's got a lot of stuff going on there. You're probably going to want to hit her up on some of those items that she talked about. I don't know about you, Jesse, but I'm ready to, my mouth is salivating. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, oh man, I got drool coming out.
Yeah, I'm a bit hungry too. So as soon as the show's over, I got some donuts ready to eat.
There you go. All right. Our social media audience is alive and well. Big shout out to you guys tuning in. We'll do some shout outs next year on The Morning Show. Be right back. We'll be right back. All right, everybody. Seriously, I'm trying to turn that sector of my mind. I wonder what part of our brain says when we start hearing delicious treats. Hey, that sounds good. Let's go have that. You know, like talk about the brain and how it works. Or maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Maybe.
Like I wasn't even thinking about eating before that segment. Now I'm like, oh, those brownies sound so good. There were a couple other things she mentioned. I was like, oh, I just want that right now. And for those who don't know, I lost a lot of weight recently. I went from 198, and I'm probably at the thinnest I've ever been at this height. I'm down to 169 as of this morning. I was like, dang. Now, if I could get down to 167, I'm good to go.
Noise.
Yeah. So, we'll see. All right, people, let's see. We got a lot of people tuning in. Appreciate you, Rosalie, Sandy. Let's see. Algenia, thank you for tuning in. Judy, tuning in. Thank you, Judy. Appreciate you. We appreciate Judy. I'm going to tell you why right now. Judy spreads the love like no other person has spread the love before. She basically reposts to a bunch of group chats, you know, those group rooms, and all of a sudden we go from like 5 viewers to like instantly overnight a lot more. I remember one time she did it, and all of a sudden we hit 180 viewers all in one show. Do you remember that, Jesse?
Oh, yes, I remember that.
So I'm almost like, how can we do that again? And do we have to hire somebody to keep reposting in groups in order to get the word out? And which groups can we post in that we can actually get the most like audience, you know? Because the fact that we got 180, one time we got 250, I think, live viewers. And then the rest of the time we just kind of remain steady with our regular viewers. So I'm like, how do we bring them back? How do we bring them back? So we got to figure that out. Somebody's got to figure that out. I got to hire an expert or something. I don't know, Judy. But Judy, thank you for showing us the way. And I know you don't have time all the time, but when you do it, I want to say thank you. And glad you're doing better in life, by the way. So
we got 10 seconds.
Speaking of which, shout out to Angie Guzman. Not sure if she's tuning in, but Angie posted something really good on her. She's a regular viewer of the show, but her neck brace she was able to take off. Thank God. And she has a good smile. I'm like, oh, thank you for your positivity. We need that.
2 seconds.
Welcome back. This is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Also streaming via our live platforms. Yes, on Facebook, on Periscope, on Apple TV, also on LinkedIn and YouTube Live. Don't forget Instagram as well. Find us. Aaron M. Sanchez is where it's at. Or KMET. KMET Radio's got a Twitter and Facebook handle. Go follow that. You'll find a lot of latest news. Sometimes I look at the comments there and I go, okay, well, you know what? I get it. Like, there's some people that are always negative about everything that comes out. I'm like, why don't you just unfollow the page? But there it is. You know, I would rather people that are negative find out good news or eventual news about where we are in the stream of time. But, you know, some people are just averse to learning to change their ways until calamity hits them eventually. And I hate to say it that way, but I feel like there's so many people that are in this world that just are kind of completely oblivious to what's happening in the world because they've been almost conditioned to ignore all of the news out there, to just say, oh, it's all fake because now they got this in their head. To which I say, if they're okay, for example, yesterday there was an alarm that came on my breaking news. I subscribe to, it's called News Break, local news and beyond, okay? And I had a warning on there that said if you're in the area of, I think it was South Central, I'll just throw that out there because I forgot what the name of it was. And I'm trying to get rid of the ad right now that they have on there. Let's see, I don't want that. There it is. Okay, so at the top of this really cool app, I would show you, but you can't see it. So I've subscribed to this now because it's got some really cool stuff. It has police radio. Spend some time on that, by the way. Just spend like a half an hour on that. You're going to appreciate all the officers that are putting themselves in harm's way to save, maybe not you, not yet, but if you were in the situation of a couple situations that I heard just the other night, I heard of a big rig turnover. I heard somebody asking because evidently their husband was creating a big problem with a knife. I saw a post recently on today's show at a supermarket where somebody went and stabbed a bunch of people. That's starting to make the news headlines. My point is this: who do you call when things really go crazy? Why would you put those people, which are not the majority, by the way, a good minority, are working in the task force to protect and serve? That was the reason they took these jobs, okay? So if you really want some better perspective of what they have to hear when they go on a call and what they have to be ready for, the reason they wear life-saving bulletproof vests, shoot, I'm ready to get myself a bulletproof vest with the stuff I've said here on this show. But look, police radio, go check it out. It's free, and you can just listen to the police chatter. You don't even need one of those special boxes. Remember, Jesse, when Batman, or I don't know if Batman ever did that. I'm pretty sure he did it as like little ear there, right, with the little earpiece. But remember when Spider-Man did that? He was just sitting, waiting, and listening to the police scanner. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. That's how he fought crime.
Yeah, because they listened to what was going on as it was breaking, like right there. And news agencies actually listen to this as well. That way they know where the news is, where they head, and they listen for certain codes, by the way. So there you go. So I'm learning my codes now. I'm like, okay. I mean, I can't do a Spider-Man thing, but you never know. Okay, so, and then it has headlines, local, coronavirus. And that, if I click on coronavirus, here's an odd statistic, okay? If you just look at it, it will tell you the amount of confirmed, but I don't look at the confirmed anymore, coronavirus cases, because it is what it is. Here's what I've been looking at, deaths. And this is just in California alone, contributed to COVID-19. Not the ones that are contributed because, maybe they're less ICU beds, which I hear there's a huge uptick. So I know some places are opening, but I can almost tell you in about 3 weeks, everybody's going to be back to closing. But California is at the top of the list, by the way, at 14,615. This is current, by the way, current news, okay? Texas is currently at 14,236 with a +7, so I'm not sure if the +7 just happened. Florida comes in at third, 12,939, with, as of one day, 151, just updated. And there you go. So, look, these are current, but look at this. New York has had a total of 33,038. Georgia, 6,403. Illinois, 8,332. I guess there's more that have more, by the way, deaths, but there you go. But it's all, look, as of the total, pretty big. Here it is. You ready?
Go ahead.
Here it is. Total deaths. We're just nearing, and this is a sad number, Jesse, because I don't know if you remember, but President Trump announced, I think it was about a month and a half ago, we'll probably top out at about 120,000 deaths. And remember when he would say, one death is too many?
Yes.
I feel like that's the other puppet, the other right side puppet saying, one death is too many, because the other puppet goes, herd immunity, we all need it, so let's just get it. You understand what I'm saying? What I'm throwing down here? Here's a
Yep.
total as of right now, which you know is going to be a headline as of later today or tomorrow.
Yep.
199,734 deaths, Jesse.
Oh, so we're almost at 200,000.
Sad but true.
Mm-hmm.
Sad but true. So, I don't look anymore at the total cases. I don't even look at the recovered anymore. I just look at, if you say each and every person matters, then you should want to do the right thing.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say about that, because then I get reamed every single time I say it. And I almost say, you know what? I already told the cartel members and the mafia come after me, so I'm going to go out here and just go out with a bang. Here we go. You ready? Look, all you people who have been loving this guy, look at one side versus the other side, okay, of his own stuff. That's all I'm going to say, okay? When he says one thing and he does another, what does that prove to you and or your mind, okay? I'll give you a perfect example. You ever have a lady in your life ever say, either about you and or somebody you know, well, I wish you had your actions to prove it up. Sure, you say you love me, but I need to see actions. I don't know about you, but if I were ever told that, which I was told a couple times, I'm like, you have no idea what type of actions I'm doing behind the scenes that you don't see every day, but okay. But I get it. Work without action is really just, well, wait, work with, isn't that the same thing? Yeah, that's right. But there's another Bible example. It says, faith without works, dead. You understand what I'm saying? Faith without works, dead. Okay? Let's take out the faith part and let's put it into providing hope. How about that? Because President Trump says, I provide hope by not throwing panic out there. He compared himself to Churchill. Wartime president, hello. Well, just saying, why do you compare yourself to a wartime president? Anyway, long story short, I think you want to go to war. But long story short, okay, here it is. You want to spread hope, right? Then let your actions show that you want this hope. I'll give you a perfect example. I heard it driving here this day. I heard over another news media outlet that he was talking about face masks. Yeah, but, you know, I had one comment yesterday, which I'm not going to blast because I understand why they said it. They said, well, you know, the World Health Organization said it's not 100% against viruses. Hello, we all know that. That's nothing new. This is why I hate rhetoric, which is out there, because I see so many followers of Trump. I could tell you the ones that don't wear face masks, I could say, you want to vote for Trump, don't you? And they'll say, how did you know? You're going to vote for him too? He's got to prove it to me that he wants to do the right thing. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. But here's my point in saying this, okay? Many people are doing what I call herd mentality. I get it why he said herd mentality. Hey, follow me. I gotcha. Don't worry about it. Follow me. I gotcha. Don't worry about it. Follow me. I gotcha. Don't worry about it. Do you remember the press conference where he said, look, if somebody beats up that guy, don't worry. I'm going to pay for your bail. Is that what he said? Did he say he was going to pay for the person's hospital bill that was going to get beat up at his own rally? Is that the type of president you want that will throw one of his Americans under the bus just because they don't agree with him? I'm sorry, but I got to say it. This man and some who follow him have called him the second coming, quite literally. Oh, there he is. That's the second coming. Yeah, that makes sense. No. You know what the second coming means? The second coming means the second coming person, who does come, evidently going to do a lot more right things for the people, trying not to cause so much harm, even with people that don't appreciate them. Or, I mean, who knows? It may be a group of people. I don't really know. But I know this much. I know you got to try to protect each and every life if you are the president, whether they agree or whether they disagree. You know, as of recent, I'm not going to pull it up, but he talked about a country, was it Pakistan? Yeah, Pakistan, which, well, they've said so much bad stuff, and he always does that. You ever notice? He does, well, they said so much bad about me, so You know how many people have said bad about me, but I still don't want them to die. I still want them to be safe. I still want them to be kind. I still want them not to eventually die just because they mistreated me or spoke without thinking. I always say, I love you. You don't know how much I love you, but I love you so much because I've already forgiven you in my heart. I don't say that part, but I know it because I care about every person on this earth. It does not matter who you are, what you've done. It really doesn't. We need to live as long as we can until our eventual day, and whatever day that is. But you're here on this earth, hopefully to affect cause, hopefully to affect change. And if somebody up there says to somebody down here, you got to go, I would be all for that. Not going to lie. I'd rather be for a president that's ready to say, you know what, this is a very difficult time that we're in. We have to bunker down, and we got to get through this. So I'm going to create a pathway for us to safely return to businesses, for us to implement protocols, for us to do the right thing, so that the majority don't get sick, that we hopefully spend enough time so that when the vaccine does come out, we can treat those that are predominantly needing to have it, not just frontline workers, but those that are at high risk, and then we'll still practice certain safety protocols at certain places, get some of the businesses back to work, get people back to employment. Housing's about to go down even further. People said, no, it's great. It's maintaining, but it's pretty soon. So look, that should be the rhetoric of a true president, not the stuff I'm hearing. There you go. My views are mine alone, not those of the station and or any of our affiliate members. Thank you for spending time with us here on The Morning Show. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez, not running for president, but boy, if I did, I would take out that guy. Sorry. Verbally, with words. Just doesn't make sense. Okay, people, we'll see you around tomorrow. Bye-bye. And for the rest of you tuning in, look, I appreciate you. I do. I know a lot of you hate when I talk about that guy. And I know you hate it because typically you love the guy. So here's what I say. And I've said this on each and every broadcast before you get too wound up about me saying what I'm saying. I've always said, if he does the right thing, he has my vote, okay? Seriously, look, Kamala. Now, if Kamala were running for president, I'd probably go right there right now, 100%. I'm just not convinced. I'm not that Joe Biden is the right choice. I'm just not. I'm sorry. I hate it if you really love Joe Biden. And unfortunately, I think the majority of people that are going to vote for Joe Biden are either A, really voting for Kamala, right? Sorry, I have trouble with that name. But Miss Harris, right? Mrs. Harris? Mrs. Harris. I love that lady. I really do. I've seen her on the front line recently with the fires, and I thought, well, good job. And I see her as being very presidential, by the way. I do. But I almost feel they just need to reverse roles. You understand what I'm saying? But I think people are going to vote for Biden primarily because they're really just tired of all the rhetoric on the other side. But as of late, from what I've seen, the question has been this: will Trump even accept the vote in the end? Because he's been playing it up so much. It's almost like a person, you know the people out there that know they're going to lose, so they build up a certain level of distrust in the counting system. Maybe for a sports game, right? How many sports games have we seen that they started cheating ahead of time because they do, the other team's better, let's create a cheat. Okay, yeah, remember the Astros, right? They got in trouble for that, right? They got called out eventually, but by then it was too late. They won the World Series. So it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, right? Oh, shame. Which I see this president and I say, he just says, well, you know what? Bring it. I don't care. He really doesn't care about any shame he causes on himself and or his family. He really doesn't. Which I almost admire, because I almost it's kind of cool that you really don't care about anybody's opinion, especially when you're causing, okay, he's not causing the deaths. The coronavirus is causing the deaths. But you yourself said you're kind of like a wartime president, and you did call it out one time, which I thought, I was kind of laughing at the time, because I'm like, it's not an invisible virus, just a virus you can't see, but I get it. Again, words are important. Use them rightly if you're going to use them at all. But again, I get it. President Trump wants to try to do the right thing every now and then. You ever notice that? Am I the only one that notices that? which again, I go, yay, in one broadcast, and the other I go, yay, in one broadcast, and then, it's been that way ever since March. I say, look, just do the right thing. What's the right thing? I don't know. Help people want to wear face masks. Okay, face masks do not eliminate the virus. You'd have to be in a plastic bubble to eliminate the virus and hope that the coronavirus didn't come in with you. You understand? But do you greatly reduce the chances? Yes. Do you greatly reduce the chances if you constantly wash your hands? Yes. Do you greatly reduce, I don't know, if one person wears a face mask and you don't wear a face mask, or maybe you wear a face mask and they wear a face mask, maybe you greatly reduce it even then? You can't tell me no. I mean, can you? You can't really. But if you listen to somebody's rhetoric, you'll suddenly get in your head, it's not necessary. Why? Because you trust a leader who he himself says, well, that's the sign of a true leader. No, the sign of a true leader is this. And if you guys agree or disagree, let me know in your comments, okay? The sign of a true leader, I'll count them 3. There's a lot of signs of a true leader, okay? Number 1, somebody that does the right thing even though when it's difficult to do it for the majority of the people. Is that true or false? I'll let you answer that. Number 2, somebody that wants to put other people's interests ahead of his own. That one could be complicated. But the reality of what I've seen as of late is putting own interests, egotistical. You remember when he met with all those other leaders and pushed them out of the way and had to stand right there in front of everybody? Haughty. That's a haughty attitude. That's all I ever see in this presidential campaign. Now, some people go, I like that guy. Doing the right thing. Vote for you. Here's what I say. That's great. It's all well and good until you're talking about other people's lives here on this earth. Be proud. But what are you proud of? Anytime I see news, I see it slanted in the other direction. On the Twitter account, you could say, okay, I'll give you another example. You could say, in life, there are peaks and there are valleys, okay? Wait for it. Here we go. In life, you have your own peaks and valleys. True or not true? I think day by day, some of us have more valleys as of late than peaks. When I say peaks, we're riding high, we're emotionally really well, we're really doing good. We're really doing good at the peak. We're just like, I'm flying high, this is great, life is wonderful, success is coming in, I got a new job. It doesn't have to be like a billionaire status, it just be like, I have the love of my life, I got the kids in my life, I got everything going on for me. This is great, I love my life. The next day, coronavirus hits. It'll be fine. The next day, about a month from now, it starts to suddenly decline. All the way to the bottom of the valley. I'm the last one to want to bring anybody down to the valley. I hope that we all bring us from the valley up and stay at least maybe right here, right? That's better than being in the valley. Midway. It may not be as high as we were, but we can at least come here. I honestly believe the American people and the world can eventually come from the very valley to at least mid-level. There's a certain set of things that I think need to be implemented right here, right now, in order to cause this to happen. But you got people in the deciding line. What I mean by that is you got all these people backing up by laws, legal orders, and or things that need to just say, hey, why don't we bunker down for a good whatever it takes, and we are not allowed to take a vacation at all. In fact, we're going to bunker down, and they've done this every now and then. They've done this. But why don't we just do that until the American people can be at least happy versus it doesn't matter who gets voted in. Because what I've seen as of late, it's like, well, I don't know. Am I going to have more pull or you're going to have more pull? I don't know. Recently I think the Republicans trying to get like full majority, and then you got Democrats, well, we need full majority. Here's what I say. Put a bunch of independents in there and mix it up. Why don't you fill half with independents? I go, you know what? I love you Republicans. I love you Democrats. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That makes sense. Can that happen? No. Somebody always has to lean on one side. But the problem with leaning on only one side means sometimes when it's unpopular with the party, they kind of ostracize the person. So they kind of push and push enough to want to say, you got to vote with us or you're against us. You're obviously for the other side. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't vote with your heart. Don't vote with your mind. Just vote based on your political belief. Do you see what I'm saying? And that runs deeper than most people realize. Belief. Sometimes rolling with people that are not of your own belief system and or calculated mindset sometimes makes you ostracized by that party. Give you an example, okay? People that are all of one faith. Just throw that one out there, right? Maybe you're Christian. Maybe you're Muslim. Maybe you're Buddhist. But now you're in a full room of, maybe you're Christian, but now you're surrounded by Buddhists. Well, this is different. Okay. One time I went to a temple, which was a Buddhist temple, and it was different, not going to lie. And I was just there as kind of a guest. And as a guest, I was like, well, this is different. I'm going to reserve my judgment. Okay. And I left with a really good impression. Hey, at least they believe in something. Good for them. Now, did I go out and hang around a bunch of Buddhists in the afternoon? No. But I'm willing to be like, okay, you know what? Let's see what you got over there. I'm not opposed to learning something I didn't know before. So there's that. But imagine a bunch of Buddhists all of a sudden surrounded by Christians. You think they'd feel out of place? Maybe. This is different. One time, I actually was in the middle of a Catholic ceremony. I'm not Catholic, by the way. And I was like, I've seen this on shows. I didn't know, oh, that's what they do. Oh, okay. Oh, my God, they stand up so much. Okay, all right. Then I realized it's just to wake you up, right? Catholics joke about that joke too, by the way. But my point is this. You're up, you're down. You're up, you're down. You're up, you're down. I'm like, this is so much up and down. I'm working out I don't even need to work out for my quads, right? It was a funeral, by the way. But my point is this. You understand, look, it goes even deeper. Okay, it goes deeper. Families, right? Your family, typically, if you're all predominantly African American, okay? Just throw that one out there. Typically, friends typically do in certain countries, because that's all there is. But here in the United States of America, we have such a, what do they call it, a melting pot? I don't like that term, because it's more like a beautiful cake, right? A beautiful cake decorated by so many different backgrounds, different flavors on the cake, right? That's it. It's a beautiful cake. Melting pot, we're like, we're just, there's nothing good about that word. Words are more powerful to the human mind than people appreciate. Okay, here's another really big word. Well, let me see. Well, no, yeah, okay. So, obedience. I say that word, what comes to your mind? Oh, obedience. Not a kid anymore. I'm a grown adult. Don't tell me what to do. When you hear the word obey, what does that bring into your mind? Come on, man, obey. Psh, I don't need to obey. I meant to, I'll tell you what to obey. Have you been seeing that a lot lately? Confidence. I say that one more time. Confidence. How does that make you feel? I like that word. That's a good word. I love that word. That word, be confident. I like that. Okay, let's take the other word I said earlier, egotistical, and replace that with confidence. Confident of one's own decision? Sounds good now, huh? But here's the difference between a confident man and an egotistical man. A confident person is confident in their ability to lead and confident in their ability to, with whatever they do not know, that they'll get the information so they can be and maintain a confidence in their mind. I know a lot of confident men and or women that are highly confident, but they're not egotistical. They're confident because they realize that they need to get more information on things that they just don't understand. Governor Cuomo, perfect example, okay? He is a confident man, but he's not an egotistical man. Do you see the difference? He's not. When he talks because he wants to protect the people. 100%. Kamala. I see that in her. I see confidence. I don't see ego. I see confidence. Which is why I really like her. I love her, actually. But what I see as of late is egotistical. You know the look. You know it. Come on. You and you Trumpenites. Come on. You know there's nothing good that could come from that type of behavior, by the way. Because no matter how much you try to teach that person that they don't know everything, they just go, yes, I do. You know that person in your life? I bet you know that person. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, I'm always right. I once bought a mug for somebody. It was a running gag. When I'm wrong, I'm right. Which I used to laugh at, but now I see the result of it, right? I see that person just really thinks they're always right. You can't tell them when they're wrong. They don't believe it. Only their way or no way at all. Their way is the highway. It doesn't matter. Now, if you're an egotistical person, I think you have the ability to say at least this, to which I believe there's still hope for President Trump. Focus on this. Do you know everything about everything? Ask yourself that question. Oh, I'll switch it up a little. Do you know everything about biology? Do you know everything about being a chemist? Do you know everything about space exploration? Now, somebody from NASA, I could see them being egotistical about that. Yeah, I know, got that. Let me show you. Boom. But here's the thing I see about NASA specialists. They're rarely ever that. Rarely. They may know a lot about space, but they're highly not egotistical. Now, in every subsection of every business and or company, you're going to see very egotistical people, and typically the egotistical people, boy, there's a proverb that says, pride before a fall. No, wait, pride causing a crash. There's a crash before a fall. Pride before, I don't remember. Maybe you know it. Egotistical, oh, there it is. Prideful. Well, it's okay to have pride. The pride of the lions. A lion's pretty proudful, right? I want to be a lion, courageous. There it is. I disagree. Where has pride ever gotten you in a relationship? Perfect example, okay? Agree or disagree. Maybe you don't like marriage. Maybe you're boyfriend, girlfriend, okay? Maybe boyfriend, maybe girlfriend. I don't know, but you have a relationship, okay? When does pride get you anywhere in a relationship with another human being? If you polled the majority of relationships that have lasted super long, massively long, and you ask them what are the top 3 things, which I used to love meeting families that were 50, 60, 70 years in the making, literally. Like two imperfect people put together, create a huge family, have grandchildren, great-grandchildren, grandchildren of the grandchildren, maybe 3 levels deep, right? Because kids are having kids at younger ages. But my point is this, you could be 70 years old and have been married for, I've met them, I love them, 70 years old. Together. That's a long time. Some people can't even make it 3 months, 6 months, 8 months during coronavirus. But here are families still sticking together no matter what because they've gone through all the stuff that was never good, but they did so together because they had commitment to one another. But if you ask them, which of you is more prideful and how did that work out for you? Almost guaranteed you'll hear them say, oh, no. And usually it's the man. She's right 100% of the time. He learned, right? He learned. But some men get so beat up and so downtrodden that yes, they do this. And some of you ladies out there, I've had to talk to you because some of you ladies, you don't want to hear this, I know. But some of your men have been so because you're so prideful. It's true. I've met many of you. I say, how do you think that's going to help you two to want to stay together? Well, he did something 80 years ago that I still really, you know what? He doesn't step up and act like a man. He needs to step up and act like a man, but he never steps up and act like a man. Yeah, because you're talking to him like that. He's downtrodden. On the flip side of that, people see it. Trust me, you know. On the flip side of that, if a man does that to a woman, it's called abuse. But women do that to men all the time, verbal abuse. And I think it's okay. Now, we know it's not okay when men do it to women, but all of a sudden, double standard when women do it to men. True, not true? To which I always say to the men in the room, you know when she'll start to respect you? What? When you actually say your mind every now and then. That's not being prideful. That just says, speak up. She needs to hear a different side of an opinion to give her mind a different viewpoint. Sometimes when you're all prideful, you have the right to be prideful. Not going to take that away from you. Have pride in your work. Have pride in your success. Have pride in your accomplishments. But be careful against being prideful or haughty. Nobody likes haughty word, right? Do you even understand what haughty means? I'm going to look it up right here, right now. I use it a lot, but sometimes I find I use words that just, sometimes we use words and until somebody brings it to our head, we're like, wait, it meant that? I didn't know it meant that because there's so many subsections, right? There's so many different translations. There's so many different versions of certain words. And my mom, loved my mom. My mom was never haughty, by the way, but she was always kind, humble, and loving. Oh, she's willing to give you, she may have nothing in the bank account, and she's like, what can I give you? I'll give you my house. You can stay here. I remember she did that with a friend of mine about 12 years ago. All of a sudden, I'm like, hey, do I have a place to stay? I bet my mom, can you take? Okay, good. Boom, done. No questions from my mom. I mean, nowadays, I'd be like, oh, coronavirus, you might have it. But haughty, blatantly and disdainfully proud, having or showing an attitude of superiority and contempt for people or things perceived to be inferior, less than. I don't care what you are. You're fake because you don't agree with me. Don't be haughty. You know what? Let me go to other words. I like other words sometimes. Other words from haughty, right? Let's go there. Because it's sometimes, because I get it. Sometimes words in the English language are a little. Here's a couple. Let me go to this one. Arrogant. Ooh. You don't like people that are arrogant, right? That's a synonym there, just so you know. Assumptive. Ooh, assumptive. Don't assume. You make a, you know what, out of me if you assume, right? This one I've never heard. Bumptious. I want to use that one. You're bumptious? Thanks. It's not good. Cavalier. That sounds very aristocrat, right? You're very cavalier. I've heard cavalier like I'm a cavalier. It sounds beautiful. Yeah. Chesty. Oh, that one makes sense. This one's very, very straight to the point. High and mighty. Don't be high and mighty. High-handed. I don't know what that means. High hat. I don't know what that means. Highfalutin. What's a highfalutin with you? Huffish, huffy, imperious, important. I think it's okay to be important, right? Yeah, of course. Oh, to think you're only the one important in the room. Oh, they say there's a saying that goes around, don't be the smartest one in the room, otherwise, right? Okay. Lofty. Oh, don't be lofty. That's another. Lordly. Lordly? You mean that Lord? Well, no, he humbled himself to come to this earth to want to be, well, he didn't even seek to be a Lord. It says it in the scriptures. Look it up. Masterful. Well, that's not a bad word. I want to be masterful of my own craft. I think they're starting to go down. Oh, this is an interesting. Presuming pompous. Pompous. Oh, we all get that. You don't like a pompous person, do you? And yet that's what we're seeing. Or are we not? I think even Trumpanites believe. Yeah, this kind of describes President Trump. I'm going to stop there. In reality, being haughty is never a good thing. And I think the word or a subset of words is more important than the word that he has shared as of late. He shared a word, and I thought, that's odd. That's a strange word to add. Go look it up. It's in his speech yesterday. Here's what you need to know, though, okay? In life, in relationships, because you or I are never going to be president. That's a given. My point is this. Obviously, on this earth, we have relationships in our family and or loved ones that we want to be our family. Or maybe you just come together whenever you want. It doesn't matter. I'm not judging, okay? I'm not judging. My point is this. If you are selfish, egotistical, and you only think of yourself, how do you think that relationship is going to go eventually? But if you're not selfish, if you're quite kind, and you're loving, how do you think that relationship is going to go eventually? Now, I've seen some couples which one side is literally one-sided, and the other one is all loving, all kind, all sweet, all amazing. And the other one's like self-serving, egotistical. Yeah, you need to do what I say. And what I see in those, I'm like, oh, give that one time. That one's going to blow up. Yesterday, I ate Market Broil. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out in Ontario. And I saw different relationships. I like to people watch. I don't know if you like to people watch. I love to people watch. And I saw a couple completely oblivious to one another. You know the couple I mean? Yeah, they're just there, kind of one's in their own world, the other's in their own world. And I can see this one couple. And I saw the man, I saw the woman, and I thought, well, that's an odd pairing. I wonder how they met. And he was not in it to win it. You know, he's just like, oh, whatever. And she was looking at him and kind of like, wonder what I did wrong. You know those couples? Maybe you are that couple. I don't know. You're just going through life and you're just like, what's going on with that? They talk time to time. And I saw her kind of do that. He must have done something bad. I was thinking, maybe she hasn't let go of that. And he's just downtrodden. I don't know. Or it could be the flip side. He's just, maybe he has a side woman. I don't know. Maybe he's just there because, it's her time, not his time. I don't know. Because on the flip side of that, on the opposite end of the room, I saw a couple, and she was walking very confident-like, right? She was confident. I was like, you go, girl. You go. She was walking confidently. She sat down, kissed her man. He kissed her. Mwah. Young love, I call it. They're probably not older than 25. Now, I'm not going to lie. My first thought was, see how long that's going to last, right? Because it's more true than not, right? New love, different than old love. But here's what I see in old love, really true old love. I see ones going back to the way it was when they were first dating. Not saying it was always that way, but at some point in that relationship, they finally understood, hey, I love you. I'm not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere? No, I'm not going anywhere. You're going anywhere? No, we're going to end this to win it no matter what. I love you no matter what. I know of couples where, unfortunately, there was a lot of cheating involved, and they stayed together for the kids. Sometimes it turns out, sometimes it doesn't turn out. There's a lot of mixed marriages. There's a lot of divided families. There are a lot of ones that find love down the line. I met one couple. I remember, this was so adorable, this couple. He came in contact with his sweetheart girlfriend, but he had a marriage that didn't work out. She had a marriage that didn't work out, and they ended up together the happiest clams you would ever see. Granted, he was super high energy. That's all you need to know. And she'd get like, oh, sometimes, yeah, but he gets everything done around the house, huh? I said. She goes, yeah, that's true. Compared to somebody that doesn't get everything done around the house, right? I didn't say that, but focus on the positive of that person, because each and every one of us have a negative. Each and every person. I don't care how good you are. We all have negatives. I can list on myself 80 negatives. But on the same list, I could probably list 8 positives. Because I'm always trying to become the better person I possibly can with the circumstances that are currently going on in life. Okay? But a haughty person does exactly the opposite, I would think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me all your weaknesses. I got no weaknesses. I'm amazing. 100%. I'm not going to lie. If I were in the same room with President Trump, I'd ask him that. Well, what? Just can you tell me a few of your weaknesses? I've got none. What are you talking about? Look at me. Okay. Agree to disagree, but obviously everybody has weaknesses. It's called learning to be a better man. Like, you think you're right all the time. That's confidence. No, that's a weakness. No, that's confidence. I beg to differ, but let's agree to disagree, because that's what we're all going to do, left and right and center. I'm going to end on this note, okay? If you, in your life, have too much pride to say, sorry, that's not going to go well for you eventually. Sorry, but it's true. People don't like to hear it. I have met people throughout life that hate to say the words, I'm sorry, as though by saying I'm sorry, it somehow demotes your ability to be confident in life. Some people have forgotten what it means to say, I'm sorry. I think even some Christians have forgotten that. True. Because I see blatant disregard for other people, maybe not sharing their own faith, maybe not sharing their own heritage, maybe not sharing whatever it is, and yet they, at the very next minute, you ask them, hey, by the way, you got a Bible? They'll say, yeah, of course I do. Just checking. You're voting for Trump too, huh? Of course. Duh. Okay, cool. Just asking, just checking. One doesn't affect the other, though. You ever notice that? He held up a Bible in his hand, right? And was it this hand? Oh, it was this hand. That's right. He held up the Bible in this hand, right? You know how many scriptures I could turn to that say, hey, don't be a haughty king. Because that's what he is at the end of the day. You may not call it a king. It's a president, but it's a king. Ruling over a nation. Okay? King. There were kings in the Bible that were kind of haughty. God humbled them. One, he may eat of the earth. I certainly hope you don't go through that. Why don't you try to do the right thing? Because God humbles the haughty. Just saying. Well, I know some people are like, yeah, right, if that's ever going to happen, right? But true-fearing Christians, I think, forget those Bible verses, because I would say, let me ask you something, okay? Just bear with me. Bear with me. There's a king, Herod, wanted to kill a lot of kids under the age of 2. Would you call him prideful, arrogant, or haughty, or all three? Or would you call him loving, kind, and amazing? Which? Obviously, the other, right? I think in your own mind, you probably made an assumptive of, yeah, well, that would make sense. Yeah, he was King Herod. Whew, terrible man. Okay, just throw this out there. So you want to vote for which one? Oh, now it becomes difficult all of a sudden, huh? Well, there's other kings of this earth as well that need to be dealt with like that, so there you go. I choose those 3. arrogant, haughty, and what was the third one? Doesn't matter. I choose that. Guaranteed. That's the answer people are giving as of this November. I'd like to think the kind, loving, and humble one who's willing to accept, you know what, I was wrong, let's fix this. You know, Andrew Cuomo did exactly that, by the way. He's a governor in New York. Those of you that don't know him, some of you don't like him because, Trump doesn't like him. I wonder why. He's called out Trump quite a few times. I love that man. If I could get in the room with that man, I would have, I'd probably buy him breakfast, lunch, and dinner just so I could talk with the guy. Andrew Cuomo, love him. Amazing man. Trust me, he could go toe-to-toe. Any New Yorker can go toe-to-toe with Trump. Hello. But my point is this. Is he loving? Is he kind? And is he... I may not be fully humble. I've seen him talk. But is he at least loving and kind to the people of New York State? I could see it by the way he treats his own experts. You ever see him in a news conference? When he's out of his realm of what he knows, he goes, and he calls them by name. Can you answer that, Joanne? Joanne goes in. Oh, yes. The Transit Authority, I don't know if that's her name. I'm just throwing out a name. But transit, this is how we're running. Okay. All right. Oh, thanks, Joanne. Thanks. You could tell by the way he treats the people around him. True. Don't have to be high up. They just need to be enough up or just an expert. I don't know. I don't really care. At least he's turning to the experts. And granted, Trump does that. But then in the very next minute, he discredits them. How many times did he have Fauci on? Fauci's like, well, just so you know. And in essence, on Twitter or in news media. Well, I didn't say that, but, I said that, but I didn't say it. I didn't mean it like that. It was a joke. Ha, 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 ha. Haughty. I think the person to get us around the corner is somebody kind, loving, and willing to do the right thing. I'll just say it like that. But what if I told you willing to do the right thing is the same thing as being obedient? But it's a different way to say it. But don't be obedient to maybe another person, but be obedient by your own heart. To do the right thing. Because isn't it through the heart that you want to do the right thing? A haughty heart versus a kind heart. Which do you want? Helping out America and or the world. A haughty heart or a humble heart? An arrogant heart or a loving heart? A heart who thinks it's always right, or a heart that says, I'm not always right, but I'll get the information eventually to want to do the right thing. Which heart do you want to be in love with? In relationships, we enter all kinds of relationships through life. True or not true? I mean, unless you married your significant other at the age of, in your heart. I met childhood sweethearts that are still together. I love it. It's amazing. It's not the majority, but it's a beautiful thing when it can be found. But the majority of us have met all kinds of people. Some egotistical, some haughty, some not kind, some not loving, blah, 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 blah. Whatever you are on that sphere of things. Or maybe you're the loving one, but you just choose the wrong person for you. Haughty, egotistical, prideful, mad at life, but you think, can I help you out? Sometimes they're not mad at life at the beginning, but they're mad at life at some point down the line because coronavirus. Everybody's getting more mad and angry and upset. Including yours truly, me. I'm the first one to admit that. True. But do you still strive to remember at the core of yourself who you are as a human being, to want to be kind, to want to be loving, to want to do just the right thing? And sometimes, even if it puts you out of favor with other people, let's be obedient to the Constitution of the United States of America. That's a pretty good Constitution, is it not? Everybody will say Constitution is a really great document, but sometimes I see the opposite of things happen around the world. I know there's subsections of things that they could never foresee here in America. I get it. Right to bear arms. That's the number one hot topic, right? Right to bear arms. I've seen the other topic going, yeah, but they didn't know that you could shoot like 1 billion people, just anybody do it all of a sudden, right? I get that. It's a weapon, misused, but we've had that ever since the beginning of time. People used to use rakes, pruning shears, farming tools as a weapon. Granted, you couldn't take out a whole village right there and then. Back to bombs, right? We're a nuclear bomb at an age where there are so many bombs. They have bombs for the names of bombs because of the different type of impact that the typical bomb will be able to explode, right? Remember at what was it? Which administration said, we're going to disarm the disarmament of majority? I think they disarmed all the ones that were ineffective. They're like, okay, well, let's get rid of those because, stockpile that out of the way because we've got to make the new ones. All right, cool. Agree or disagree? Now, does a bomb take out an enemy? Yes. And is the enemy always right? Not always. But sometimes the enemy has a different perspective in life, right? So maybe in their sight, there's places around the world that get bombed almost on a daily basis from, another one trying to overtake the people. Not doing the right thing, by the way, because if you wanted to do the right thing, you wouldn't bomb the heck out of innocent civilians. But what do I know? Here's what I know. I don't know everything. I don't think you know everything. Thank God for Google. Yeah, we get really smart with Google, right? There's some people that are like, and I've seen this as of late. People are like, what do you know? You're not an expert. Yeah, but I Googled everything. And then I see some of the information that was Googled. It was all wrong information. So Google could be good in the right hands, wrong in the wrong hands. And isn't it better to ask an expert that has trained themselves time and time and time and time and time again? Most experts know they don't know everything. Do you know how many believe in the Big Bang Theory but still accept that there's some type of organized higher thing that has put everything as it is? Don't believe me, look it up. Stephen Hawking, very interesting theorist, also eventually finally says, I can't deny there is a higher intelligence at work here. Physicist, astrophysicist at that, very smart man. And look at his life. Valley. Was at his peak? Was at his prime? Valley. Through no I have a hard time with that because, like my sister, she didn't ask for that type of life. For those that don't know, my sister is mentally disabled, quite severely so. Her body just has problems functioning. It's true. But he was trapped in his own mind. And he has a brilliant mind. Was that loving? No. Is that kind? No. Is that the right thing to do? No. But he lived his life as long as he could. And people helped him. He was married for a long time to the same woman, and eventually that woman ended up with some other man, but he ended up with another woman who appreciated him. True. Some say she just wanted his money, but I don't know. At least she gave him love and attention and dignity. Not saying that was an easy relationship. I don't blame her. I don't think he blamed her either. He understood. She went off with another man. Not right? I don't know. If you were in that situation, how difficult is that? I don't know. I don't judge. But at the end of the day, that man, Stephen Hawking, brilliant mind. Even I think if you put him in the driver's seat, he would have at least said, hey, guys, let's not do the wrong thing. Let's learn to be kind to one another. Because at the end of the day, that's all I saw in that man. A kind-hearted individual. Which I have to ask this. Does it take a disease or debilitating disease to humble a man or a woman? Or, and this is one I'm going to leave you with. What if the person in your life who you say you love suddenly died? You wake up tomorrow, something traumatic happened. They're instantly dead. You cannot speak to them. You cannot say a thing. You cannot... Let's say that person took a plane and it ended up crashing one day. You didn't know where they were going, you didn't know what they were doing in life, and all of a sudden, they die. But in that same plane are 3 of your other people, but these are your family members. Are you going to feel sad about all of them or just one of them? Are you going to feel depressed because you forgot to say I love you to all 4 of them or just 2 of them? Are you going to have different levels of love for each one? I would venture to say yes. I would venture to say sometimes we all put our attention to one versus the other 3 that were in our lives, and that's neither here nor there. But what if I said, oh, they took another plane. I'm sorry, they're alive today. What are you going to do now? Oh, my God, thank you. For all 4 or just one? I would venture to say for all 4. The other 3 weren't on that plane either. And that is your life right now. Whoever you put into that plane right now, in your head, give them a call. Send them a message. Say, you know what? I thought of you today. You don't have to tell them why. Don't tell them that we watched the morning show with me. Just say, you know, I thought of you today. How are you doing? Let them talk. Let them vent. Let them share their experience in life. But don't leave the phone call and or the message or the chat, instant chat. Everybody likes to text right now. You know, I really love you. You know what you'll instantly get back? I love you too. It may be a friendly love. It may be a romantic love. It may be an emotional love. It may just be, there's so many different levels of love. Some people, you know, they're romantic interest. The other person's like, I friend-zoned you a long time ago. That love is like a brotherly love. Ah, darn it, I was hoping to be a romantic love. But okay, I love you too. At the end of the day, isn't that what matters here on this earth? Some refer to agape love. You know, there's a lot of words in the Greek language. Eros is a romantic type of love. Woo, woo, woo. That's what you feel typically at the beginning of a relationship. But it evolves through time. There's a philia. That's a very brotherly love, right? Philia, like brotherly love as well. And I forget the 4th one. I always forget the 4th one. But my point is, or no, agape. Agape is the first one, right? Agape. All-encompassing. Have agape, right? Still love, but it's a different meaning of love, a different shade of love. And I think there's a bazillion different shades of love. If you don't believe me, if you have a love of your life, that's the end-all, be-all, right? That's the person for you from time indefinite. You may not even be with that love anymore, but you still think of that love 100%. And then there's like, you know, different other levels of love where you just want to check in on them. You just want to make sure they're okay. You know, you stalkers on Facebook and Instagram, you still check those people out, don't you? You're like, oh, good, you're safe. Okay. When somebody says marked safe from a disaster, you're like, oh, good. Oh, ay, Dios mío. Right? All different shades of love. When does it evolve from love to hate? Sometimes people are in relationships that they both love and hate the person at the same time. That's complicated, right? But some say, well, at least if you hate them, you kind of love them, right? It's a different shade of love, but whatever. But wouldn't you rather focus on the love part than the hate? Let's say that person you hate to love ends up in a plane crash this day, 2 hours from now. What? You get that information right here, right now. What are you going to do? Hold on. Wait, what? What? That plane's about, oh my God. Let me, hello? Hey, hi, hey. Oh, so, hey, by the way, you're not taking that plane 45 number 45. What's the number? 737. Oh, it's a 737. Don't take that plane, okay? I don't know. I got some information. I don't know if it's true or not, but you know what? Can you just do the right thing and just stay home right now? What? Don't you just stay home? I love you. You know what? I've never told you this. I love you. I love you. I'm the one that's always loved you. And look. Just don't take the plane, okay? Yeah, thanks. Just promise me. Promise me you don't take the plane. I need you to promise me right here, right now. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Woo! That was an emotional roller coaster. Wow. I bet there's somebody that you were thinking of right now that's that person in your life. Maybe you're married to them right now. Maybe you're in a relationship with that person right now. Maybe they are the love of your life, but you never told them. I don't want to because they were friends. Well, she thinks we're friends. You know what? Let her know then. Maybe she thought of you as a friend for so long, you need to finally speak up. What's the worst that can happen? If you were friends to begin with, to be friends after. Well, now it's different. You know what? Didn't say this, okay? If you're a guy or you're a woman, you know what? I've had so much love for you. I will do anything for you no matter what happens in life. I know you don't feel the same way for me, but I just need you to know that. Don't even say it so that they want to say it back. Just let them know. I love you so much. I just need you to know that. I know you don't care about me the same way. If you ever need anything, I'm always here for you, okay? Because life is about to get quite weird all of a sudden. And we need to trust people that we know love us and that we love them. People that have your back no matter what. People that are always going to do the right thing by you. If somebody slanders or talks bad about you, they go, that's my friend you're talking about. I don't think so. They have that much confidence in you. You know those friends. Focus on that one friend, that one love interest, that one person that you just wholeheartedly know you can trust no matter what. You would trust them with their life. That if they made that call to you and you were the one ready to get on the plane, you say, you know something that I don't, you know what? I trust you so much, I'm going to get off. Even if it doesn't crash, thank you for even thinking about me. Thank you. Hey, stewardess, I'm off this plane. Sorry. Sorry, people, I don't know what's about to happen. And they walk off. You're the person on that plane. And somebody called you to warn you about an impending disaster coming. Doesn't matter how they got the information, they just know. They wanted to call you to let you know before you got on the plane. You're the person on the plane. Why do I say that? It's all well and good when we're with the other person, but when that person, it's a little different. Circumstances suddenly change. You ever notice that? I've seen people in this time of the end almost say, well, this is my time to go, then it's my time. I've heard that prior to coronavirus with a young adult, 21 at the time. Well, if it's my time to go, this is how I'm going to go. Do you not know you have a whole family that loves you? Okay, go. That person took a plane out of the country against the better judgment of her mother, and kid you not, coronavirus started within that same week. Gets so bad, all of a sudden, don't know if you remember this, but the entire country went on lockdown, or were going on lockdown, saying no in or out. You have to be on a certain plane by a certain time, and that daughter suddenly, I can't imagine all of a sudden, because I heard it like 5 weeks later. You know what? I got the last plane out of there. I almost didn't survive. I almost died. Yeah, no duh. That's why you were warned to begin with. Oh my God. But some of us throw caution to the wind because we think it's not going to happen to us. We think nothing's going to go bad. Nothing's going to go wrong. You're not going to get sad. You're not going to get mad. You're not going to get angry. Don't listen to the advice. Don't listen to the advice that you were given. Do your own thing. Well, she'll learn. Sad but true. Maybe you'll learn. Maybe you won't. Maybe you will. Hopefully you do. Before it is your last day. Learn to love one another, that you may build one another up, that you may feel filled up with something that you're sorely lacking. Maybe you have all the love you'll ever need. Maybe you're struggling right now and you forgot you have a lot of love around you. I say that because people are taking their lives each and every day. Those numbers are peaking as well. Those numbers, in addition to the coronavirus deaths, just out of whatever the result is, whatever they're going through. There is no one size fits all. I'd be amiss to say, this is what happened. Learn to spread a little bit more love, a little bit more hope, okay? If you have trouble showing it, get outside of your comfort zone and just say, I'm not going to text this person, I'm going to call them. Hello? Hey. So, I was thinking about you today. You okay? Just start with that. See what you get. I'm sure you have more time than you think you have. Come on. That's what, 5-minute call? Maybe it's a series of calls. Maybe it's you know what? Let's leave a message with that person. Hello? Hey. So I know you're probably really busy. I really thought about you today. I don't know why you're in my head, but you've been on my mind quite a lot lately. And, I'm just wanting to let you know, I hope we get through this. And, if you need anything, I'm here, okay? Give me a call if you want. If you don't, that's cool. I know you're busy, but just, maybe if you can. All right, talk to you later. Bye. Done. How long did that take? 15 seconds? Maybe you take a little longer of a message? I don't know. If you're like me, you never check your voicemails. I'm sorry, I never check my. Send me a text, seriously. But my point is this: look, I'm okay. I am 100% okay. Nobody focus on me. Sometimes after a show, I get like 5 different messages. Like, "Are you okay?" No, I'm okay. But I'm trying to help you help your friends, your family members, the loved ones that you're thinking about right here, right now. Give them a call and say whatever your heart moves you to say. Okay? All right. Enough of that. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. Thank you for making our day amazing. Appreciate you. If this is your first time, we hope you come back. Again, I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez, not running for president, but boy, if I did, I'm telling you, wouldn't want to be haughty. I pity the fool that's haughty. Bye-bye, everyone.